This year's World Series will be a repeat of an early 80s World Series, but I'm not talking about the Phillies and the Orioles. The Philadelphia Flyers just might be the worst team in hockey. The Philadelphia 76ers, well, the two most used words concerning them are Embiid out, but at this point, you can just add Paul George right to the list. The Union did not make the playoffs. On a brighter note, our football team is not the New York Giants. We'll be back. IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris.
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, single-A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all-brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the IE Sports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
Well, I gave my opening eulogy. Bobby, what's first and foremost on your mind?
Wow. all I could think about after you said all that was how that we're in episode 184. So we're 3.5 years in, and it feels like nothing's changed with the 76ers. It feels like we're right back in the 2020 season where, like you said, it's Embiid out, it's George out, and we're expected to just go along with this as if it's normal, as if that, the rest of the league, this happens everywhere. You can't miss half the games and expect to be ready for the playoffs and expect to just cruise into the playoffs and expect them to play every other game, every other night. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. George is too old. We said that the second they signed him. That seems to be the theme with all of our teams, really. The Phillies are getting old quick right before our eyes. They're low 30s, mid 30s now. Embiid's not getting any younger. Paul George is just too old. I mean, it's not going to stop with him. Now we have to throw Tyrese Maxey into the mix, hoping that's not a big deal with his thumb now. It's miserable to be a Philadelphia sports fan.
It is, and especially to be a 76ers fan after this was supposed to be the good times with the Sixers after the process. Things were supposed to get so much better. And obviously they got better to a point where the Sixers, but they put themselves right back in the same position that caused them to need the process to begin with, to where they were stuck as a team going out early in the playoffs. And we screamed it that we didn't want Paul George here, not because Paul George can't play. It's because, Paul George
can't play.
Yeah, it seems like he's going to be injured, and this with Embiid right now. I mean, I think we were in agreement that the only way this team's ever going to get better is they're going to have to take a step back and trade him, but they didn't do that.
They extended him.
They extended him, so
they must love misery. They love it. They're in misery, and they love to make us part of it. Well, I'm not going to be part of it. I mean, I'm not going to go to any games. I can tell you that much. I'm done.
Well, see, that's the issue, because the idea of having him on the team puts a rear end every 18 inches in that building.
Yeah. But how can a guy like me that might go to 2 games a year go out and buy tickets knowing that I could go and it could be Robert Covington with Ricky Council starting at forward? I'm not going to spend hundreds of dollars to go see that. No shot. No way.
No. And it's, like I said, too, it's a bad look for the NBA, but I guess you have this everywhere. Like I said, if you look, let's say you're a Utah Jazz fan, you look at the schedule, okay? It's not a back-to-back. I'm just picking a team. I don't know this for sure. It's not a back-to-back, and the Sixers are coming to town sometime in February. Well, it'd be great to see Embiid. You don't know if he's going to be playing. I mean, now, the latest report is he's not playing all week. He's not playing the first week of the season.
And there's no reason given. There's no injury. There's no specific spot where he got hurt. It's just, we don't feel he's ready. We don't feel he's ramped up yet, and he's ready to go. What are they trying to just shorten his season?
Well,
it doesn't matter if you shorten it to 30 games. If you shorten it to 30 games, he'll miss 10 games. It doesn't matter what you do. They can sit him the whole season. He get hurt in the first game of the playoffs.
Well, how much ramping up does he need? He played in the Olympics.
Well, that was a while ago. He might have got hurt there.
Well, what I'm saying is it didn't. Apparently, he must have finished the Olympics and then went on a binge and just isn't ready.
They said he lost weight. So if he lost weight, he should be in better shape, right? I mean, he should be conditioned better. I mean, I just don't get it. Terrence says the Sixers are off to a rocky start this season. Well, that's the problem. How does that exactly what you just said? They're off to a rocky start. The season hasn't even started yet. I mean, he hasn't played 1 second of basketball, competitive basketball, indeed. Nothing.
It's almost like a situation where all the fans said, look, here's what we know is going to happen. And the Sixers said, yep, we're going to cram it down your throat right away.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I don't know what the deal is. What do they want to bring them back together, him and George? We have no update on George either. What's his status? Is he out 4 weeks, 2 weeks, 1 week, day to day? They don't tell you anything.
The coach didn't really want to answer it either. He was annoyed by being asked these questions.
Because he doesn't want to deal with it.
No.
Think he wants this? He wants a full staff.
And this
a full roster, I mean.
this notion from some in the local media, maybe even in the national media, saying, well, okay, games missed in October and November are not important once we get to May. Okay, but we've seen what happens in May, so
All right.
I mean, you sign Paul George and you bring in some other free agents, add some additions to the team. Second year with Nick Nurse. Maxey is a rising star in the league. He was an all-star last year. People are excited to go at least to that first game. And
yeah, I mean, I woke up this morning. Like I said, the Sixers were a 2.5-point favorite. I said, how? They know these guys aren't going to play. There's no way they play.
Right.
So how the hell? They announced they were out. They went to a 3.5-point underdog. So I don't know. I feel like we have a better read on this team than Vegas does.
I know they wanted to change the name of the building down there. I don't know if it's still the Wells Fargo Center, right?
I thought they were going to call it the South Philadelphia Hospital.
Yeah, I know. It's definitely the Wells Drive Fargo Center
rehab center.
Because you had the Flyers play 4 games out west.
In all seriousness, I don't know. Are they talking about changing the name?
I thought they were talking about. Well, the staff looked that up.
I'm sure the sponsorship deal probably ran to a certain time. I don't know exactly when, but the building doesn't have many years left, apparently.
And you look at the situation too. When the Flyers came home, all they did was get shut out. So I mean that building that you might be looking at a situation where you need to knock that building down.
Well, I don't know. I know the Sixers are going to move out, but are the Flyers going to remain? They haven't.
No, the Flyers are staying there. I know the Sixers are moving somewhere in Center City, I guess it is, and I don't know what year they're moving. Or
well, first it was on, then it was not. That it was going to be in Chinatown, then it wasn't going to be in Chinatown. Who knows?
They better draft some good young players and get some good young players in here if they want to fill that building going forward. Because Embiid won't be here. Maxey will be in mid of his career.
What is that? It will be renamed the Casey's Center. What is the Casey's? What is that? What is Casey's?
Wow. It should be it should be the Casket Center. Is what it should be. Everything in there is dead. Every team that plays in there is dead.
Casey's. I don't know what that is. There's a restaurant called Casey's that's in Drexel Hill. I don't know.
Staff will try to find it.
Wow.
I thought maybe we could come on with a little bit of excitement tonight with the Flyers. I mean, they were favored tonight. They were minus 140 in tonight's game against the Capitals, and it was the Capitals scoring 2 shorthanded goals. I think it's 3-2 now or 3-1. I'm not. I don't even really care. I mean, and I checked in on the Knicks Celtics, and the Celtics were running away with it. I don't know if the Knicks cut into it or not, but
yeah, I mean they're the best team. In partnerships with Casey's General Store in Iowa, staff already knew which Casey's sprint car sponsor. Really?
Wow. Yeah. Well, she would know that. The staff would definitely know that.
Wow. Casey's General in Iowa. What are they expanding like a Dollar General type thing?
This got to be something to do with Josh Harris. Maybe he's involved with them. I'm not sure.
So the Casey's Center. Wow.
Because I would expect with the Sixers moving out. No, maybe it doesn't have anything to do with Harris then if they're moving out.
Right.
It has something to do with someone in the Flyers ownership group. I'm not sure. But I still think because last night, Monday Night Raw was there and they called it the Wells Fargo Center last night.
Well, yeah, it's going to be the Wells Fargo Center until July.
Yeah.
Terrence says, are the Eagles making things better or worse? I guess better for this week. Tune back in next week after they play the Bengals.
Where, by the way, they've never won a game in Cincinnati.
Yeah, and I don't see that. The Bengals are, a desperate team, so they're going to be giving it all they have. And it'll probably be a high-scoring game. I finally expect to see a high-scoring game. I just don't think the environment and Bengals have a good defense. So I shouldn't have said high-scoring game. Maybe 27-17. L.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to look. I'm not that up on the Bengals with how good they are at stopping the run.
They have a good receiving core. They got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, decent young running back in Chase Brown. I like Quinyon Mitchell, what I've seen from him. He's actually first in the NFL and non-separation, I think they call it, like staying with the receiver. I mean, he's number one in the league, and you just see it by watching the games. He's all over the guy he's covering. And that's good to see, especially from a rookie, to have that kind of moxie and that kind of, not be afraid to get in there and mix it up with these star receivers.
No, you're exactly right. And this weekend, I don't know what it says about the Eagles, because I think the game said more about the Giants. Even though the injuries the Eagles had, I thought the Giants would be in the game, but I didn't expect what I saw. But I'm glad I did.
The Giants had the exact opposite game plan of what it takes to beat the Eagles. They came out throwing. It was whoever designed that game plan's, he played right into the Eagles' hand. I mean, Daniel Jones is not a guy that's going to beat you throwing the ball. And I know they don't have a great running back, but the Eagles can be beat on the ground, and they didn't go to it at all.
Well, and I thought for sure with some changes to the offensive line that they would be able to get more of a pass rush than they did. I mean, they did early, and then the Eagles, once they got to 4 sacks, the Eagles were able to, well, one sack was just Jalen Hurts falling down.
Yeah.
But once they got to 4, they were able to kind of curtail that some. And with it being 28-3, and they had a fourth quarter off for most of their starters.
Yeah.
I guess you can't argue with that. But turning around, they're playing a much more competent team next
right.
week.
Look how good our defensive line looks. I mean, Jalen Carter and they had a field day. There was no resistance on the other side.
I didn't realize the Eagles didn't have a sack all season until Sunday. I didn't realize that. How's that happen?
They couldn't get any pressure on anybody, but these guys were like, it was like a turnstile. I mean, it was like a party at the quarterback. I mean, that's what happens if you play a team that just doesn't have any offensive line. I mean, even Bryce Huff had a sack.
He did, and that was a big deal on social media as well. And this game coming up in going to Cincinnati, like you said, the Bengals need all the wins they can get, because they're in a division that has 3 legit teams in it.
Yep.
And we always talk about this, like the landscape of the NFL. It looks like it could be Lions Chiefs or Lions Ravens.
Yeah, I mean, when I think about that, I don't give the Ravens much of a chance against the Chiefs.
They would have to. Somebody have to upset the Chiefs early, and no one's going into Arrowhead and do that. So
I don't care where they play. I mean, you saw last year.
That's true, and they played. They were in San Francisco this weekend. Didn't matter.
No, I mean, I'm talking about Baltimore and Kansas City. Like last year, Patrick Mahomes went right into Baltimore and won. It doesn't matter. They could play anywhere. They could play in the Chiefs locker room. The Ravens locker room. It won't make a difference. He's just so good, and he just makes the plays he has to make. And the Chiefs have a really good defense. Their defense is really underrated, and probably the best defensive coach in the league is Steve Spagnuolo. I mean, it's for the fact that he hasn't become a head coach. They must be really taking care of him there and really paying him.
Or, well, I was going to say maybe some of the opportunities that he wanted weren't there, like to take over Carolina or whatever. But you probably jump at that anyway, wanting to be a head coach. You look at
we have a correction at the bottom of the screen. There was a Wells Fargo Arena in Iowa. So Wells Fargo will be renaming WFC. WFC. What is that? Isn't that Wells Fargo? Is that the different?
They will be removing their name from the Wells Fargo Center.
Uh-huh.
But a new name has not been chosen as of right now.
Uh-huh.
Okay, breaking news here.
It'll be like the Washington football team.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll call it the Philadelphia Sports Arena.
Well, speaking of which, did they ever take a hit? I mean, they won the game big this weekend, but their starting quarterback is injured.
I haven't heard an update yet. I know they went to the great Marcus Mariota. He took care of the business. I wasn't aware it was their backup.
No, I wasn't either.
Until he came in the game. I said, wow, he's still in the league?
Yeah, amazingly.
Yeah, he did a good job.
But you look on the NFC side, The demise of the Niners, I'm not going to complain about that.
I wouldn't call it that yet. I mean, they have a lot of injuries. I mean,
right. But looking at the records right now, and then you have, Minnesota. Minnesota's good, but I can't go all in on them.
No, I mean, even in any one game playoff time, they're beatable. I don't care what their record is.
And Washington now with the injury to the quarterback, that might take them down a peg or two going forward.
Yeah.
Dallas isn't any good. Green Bay looks pretty good. They've had some hiccups, but they look like a team that we thought was going to possibly contend.
Yeah, nothing. They're a young team, very young. They're going to be around for a while. Their receivers are going to grow together, and they still have Josh Jacobs. And I don't know about their defense, how good their secondary is good. They're a team that can be run on, and they're going to give up points. I don't think there's any team in the league that can't be scored on. I don't think there's not a lights out defense because of all the money they spend on offense nowadays. That they really can't have that. The Chiefs are probably as close to a shutdown D as there is. And after that, who comes to mind? There's no great defense out there, right? I mean, I think the Bears have played good defense. They've been surprising. You know who else is good on defense? The Broncos. They've been surprised. They've actually won a couple games just on D.
Well, you could throw the Eagles in there. They haven't given up a touchdown in 2 weeks. The defense.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
it was the Browns and the Giants, but
right.
Do you think this is a situation where the Eagles have to make the playoffs, and they have to win a game of the playoffs, or else the coach is gone?
Pretty much. I mean, that's the way of the league. I mean, look, they fired Doug Peterson, who won a Super Bowl for pretty much the same exact thing.
They
not
did.
Getting any further.
Yeah. So the Eagles, they had the Bengals coming up, and I guess they moved that game. I think it's like because they've been moving some of the Eagles games around. Some of the Sunday night football games for the Eagles, they have changed. I don't think the Sunday night game against Jacksonville, that got changed. They got slid out of that spot, and they put the Colts against the Vikings in that spot. And I don't know if the Eagles Sunday night game against the Rams is going to stay there either. It might be flexed out.
Yeah, I'm still showing this game as 1:00.
The one this week against the Bengals is at 1.
That's what it says, unless it's an old. I'm checking the actual.
No, you're probably right then.
The betting odds to see if it's. I actually wanted to see it get moved to a night game. Yeah, it's 1:00.
Yeah, I didn't know if they had moved it back to 4 or not. I know it's not going to.
No.
I think they're moving out of the Eagles playing on Sunday Night Football.
Well, they have Chicago and Washington playing at 4. That's because they probably expected the Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels game,
True. Which
probably isn't going to happen. The night game is going to be the 49ers Cowboys, which I can understand that. That's a bigger audience.
Yeah, and I'm not so sure that they're actually moving the games because of the Eagles. It's because of the opponents, the Jaguars or the Rams.
Right.
They're not going to be great opponents. I mean, they wouldn't have moved it if the Jaguars were playing well, given the history with Doug Peterson and everything. They wouldn't have. But Colts Vikings doesn't scream like marquee matchup to me either. But hey, what do I know?
Anthony Richardson hasn't been the quarterback that he was hyped to be. I mean, he's been horrible.
No, that's part of the issue.
Yeah, his accuracy is just bad. I mean, at one point I think he was 8 for 22 this weekend with 90 yards or something like that. It was terrible. It's just.
Hey, I didn't check today, and maybe the staff can put this up there. College football, the national rankings. Where did Penn State fall?
Number 3.
They're still number 3. So is it Oregon, Georgia?
I don't know, but I always check Penn State. Oregon, yeah, I think Oregon's number 1.
Yeah, Oregon's got to be number 1. Then it's got to be Georgia, and like we said, Penn State. I only said that because they moved their game this Saturday night to 7:30. Their game against Wisconsin.
Yeah, it's Georgia. It's Oregon, Georgia, Penn State, Ohio State. Penn State I don't believe belongs with that list of teams.
No, and the thing is, people would argue that Penn State doesn't have a loss, but so what?
But either does Pittsburgh, and they're ranked 19th.
Well, Indiana doesn't have a loss either.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If Pittsburgh played Penn State, I mean, they would give them a game. Indiana 7, BYU 7-0, Iowa State 7-0, Miami of Florida 7-0.
Well, I'm going to break in here real quick. It's 4-1 Capitals. John Tortorella might not make it to Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
not because they're going to fire him, just because he's going to say, I don't have the players here. Goodbye. I mean, that just might be an issue. I mean, this team is the worst team in the league right now, and after a team that took it all the way down to the last week last year to maybe possibly make the playoffs, and they brought in Mitchkov actually came over.
How's he looked?
Well, I'll tell you what. As we enter into the Flyers minute, boo! He looks as advertised. The problem is the guys he's playing with are bringing him down.
I'm looking at his statistics. He's played 5 games. He has 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points, but he's a -6.
Yeah, it's the talent around him who is – everybody on this team is going to be a minus. I mean, it's unbelievable.
But is he a bad defensive player? Is he like a Tyrese Maxey? He'll put up 2 goals but give up 4.
It's looking that way, but it's just the way the team is. And the other thing too about that is the games where the backup goalie was in. I mean, it was 5-6 goals. Each of those games with the backup goalie starting, the Flyers had given up 6 goals. So
they're all backup goalies, though.
Yeah, it's true. They are.
I feel like it's a whole team of backup goalies. I don't think there's a star on the team.
When you have ownership group, when you have general managers and staff taking over, and your objective is, okay, we're going to start over, rebuild this thing. You don't take one step forward to go 2 back, and that's what's going on here. But then again, hasn't that gone on since the 70s with the Flyers? So
yeah, 1974.
I mean,
50 years.
I'd rather sit here and talk about movies than talk about that garbage.
That's why it's called the Flyers Minute.
Boo! So I don't know who the Sixers are playing the rest of the week. I didn't even bother to look. The staff can put that up.
I don't even want to see it. It makes me sick.
Couple games,
because I know it's not our team out there. It's not the team that it's supposed to be.
I would just say Andre Drummond being in there will probably get 40 rebounds tomorrow. He'll have an opportunity.
The Bucks still have Brook Lopez, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, they're still a good team. Giannis will be, healthy. He'll be healthy and ready to go, unlike our guys.
Well, he also has a ring.
Yeah.
Unlike our guys who don't.
What's this? The unlike our guys segment?
Yeah. Unlike the guys on the Sixers. I mean,
if we started an unlike our guys segment, we'd hear it.
If we just had a segment on guys that we were right about, unfortunately. I mean, it's not like we come on here and we're surprised. I mean, the biggest surprise since we've done this show, the biggest surprise to me in Philadelphia sports, a guy who I never thought would turn out was Ranger Suarez. And I was saying that about 10, 15 of his starts into this season. And then he went back to being what I thought he would be.
It was a brief stardom.
But I never thought he would make it
that far.
Well, only because I didn't think he threw hard enough, and he had to rely so much on pitches hitting certain spots.
Right.
And it looked like I was an idiot because he was an all-star this year. And I was glad to say I was completely wrong about him. And I don't know if it was the little bit of the back injury he had, but.
Well, you weren't completely wrong because it's still, work in progress. His career's not done. And his numbers aren't complete. So you weren't done. You weren't wrong.
No. And speaking of Phillies pitching, I mean, you have Andrew Painter. I mean, he's throwing his couple innings in the Arizona Fall League. So, I mean.
He's looked good. Hopefully we don't hear, a setback.
I'm not concerned about him. I'm not concerned about him walking people. I'm not concerned about him giving up hits. I'm not concerned about him giving up runs. I'm not concerned about him giving up home runs. I just want to know that he stays healthy.
Right.
And that's the point.
Right.
Hey, I mentioned off the top of the show before we take a quick break here, World Series. Who do you like?
It's tough. It's tough to like the Dodgers because I feel like they can't put out a 5-man pitching rotation or even a 4-man.
Yeah, but
Fact,
they win those. They win
I
them
know.
bullpen games.
They can score. That's the thing. I mean, it's 50-50. I guess you go with the home team, Dodgers.
Yeah, and I go with the Yankees. I would say the Yankees win it.
Okay.
I don't really have a dog in the fight. I don't really
Me
care.
either. Me either.
I'll watch from the fan standpoint of just that I like baseball.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, I look at it to be a series where it's going to be the hitting over the pitching. So the games will probably be 1-0, 3-2. You know, it'll turn out
Yeah,
to
right.
be.
Yeah, exactly.
We will take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk a little more Sixers, some NASCAR, a top 10, and a little bit of pop culture. Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris while you're enjoying your Planet Jerky. We'll be back.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Davidson,
It's your boy Dentarius Law.
and we are the hosts of Fast Break here on IE Sports Radio, where we discuss everything in the world of basketball from prep to the pros.
You guys should definitely check us out, man. Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We got all the basketball information you guys need, so we look forward to you guys listening in.
And please do, because we are the best basketball show on this side of the Mississippi. And please do check us out on Twitter at FastBreakISR. D-Lock, where's our time again?
8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That gives you guys plenty of time on a Sunday.
Tune in.
Well, what is up, Carolina Nation? This is John Felipe of the Carolina Cast, of course, the podcast of, by, and for the Carolinas, right here on IE Sports, your direct feed for all that is sports. And I'm reminding you to tune in Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern for the latest in Carolina sports, whether it's the Panthers that keep on pounding, the fly natures of the Hornets, the storming Hurricanes, the battle of the Blues with Duke and UNC, the fight of the Clemson Tigers, or the amazing atmosphere of any Carolina college. I'm talking App State, I'm talking ECU. I've got you covered. Once again, tune in for the Carolina Cast with me, John Felipe, Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
I'll pull it up here real quick. The 76ers schedule coming up over the next week. They will start tomorrow, obviously. They are home against the Bucks. Then they go to the Raptors on Friday.
It's a loss.
Sunday, they are at the Pacers.
That's a loss.
They come back home and play the returning Tobias Harris and the Pistons. That game should be sold out for Tobias Harris's return. Yeah, right.
It'll sound like the Flyers minute.
It's Wednesday, October the 30th. Then the Grizzlies come in. And then on Monday, November the 4th, they start a little road trip. They go to the Suns, the Clippers, and the Lakers. So,
Wow. They're going to start the season 2-8.
how they winning two of them?
The Pistons and the Grizzlies.
Yeah, it's possible. That's well, if Morant's playing, they might not win that Grizzlies game
Yeah,
as
that's
well.
true. That's true. He'll probably get hurt. Though. He gets hurt just like Embiid.
True, a lot of guys getting hurt, and tonight in the second game, it's going to be the Timberwolves and the Lakers. I mean, that's a decent game for the start of the season. I mean, everyone, of course, is talking about the Lakers, and I'm trying to check the score here, but they're at halftime of the Celtics-Knicks. But
I mean, I think at some point it becomes amazing that LeBron's still playing at this level, rather than he's hated.
60?
Huh?
He's 60,
Yeah.
right?
It's amazing. I think he probably could play till he's 60.
Yeah, he just might. Well,
Right.
it'll be interesting.
It is. I mean, I don't think anybody's ever really played this well at this age.
No,
Right?
no.
Vince Carter played this age, but he was nowhere near this effective. I mean,
No, he wasn't, and he was.
I can't name anybody that was a star at this age. Michael Jordan, but even he fell off.
Yeah, he did when he was in Washington. He did.
Yeah,
he did fall off. So, and LeBron really hasn't bounced around. I mean, he's only been with 3 teams: Miami, Cleveland, and the Lakers. Yeah, 3 teams.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
not bounced around that much.
Twice with Cleveland.
Yeah, and brought them that championship. So, I wasn't surprised when you mentioned Cleveland. I wasn't surprised that the Yankees took out the Cleveland baseball team. They just ran up against too many good hitters, and
It's just amazing that the guy that the reason why I thought they would win ended up being the reason they lost.
yeah, Clase was just, oh my goodness, he turned into playoff Jeff Hoffman.
Isn't that something though? I mean, the guy seems lights out every time you see him, and then he just gets into this groove where he's so hittable. It's amazing. I don't know if it's they studied him more, or they focused more, or they bared down. It's just he couldn't get anybody out. And it seems like every time I saw Aaron Judge bat the entire series, he hit a home run. I saw both of those home runs back to back.
When you look, and you still look at that Yankees lineup, and you see Soto, who arguably is their best player and best hitter. Then you have Judge behind him, but you have Soto, and then you have Judge behind him for protection. It kind of helps Soto.
Exactly.
And
that's what Bryce Harper doesn't have, is that protection.
And he hasn't had it.
He hasn't.
And I mean, Nick Castellanos, no. JT Realmuto, no. Alec Boehm, no.
That's the mistake they made building this team. Instead of going for another power hitter behind them, they went for these slap hitters, these average guys like Trey Turner. And well, I'm sorry, I stopped myself mid-sentence. They have that guy. He bats leadoff.
Well, he bats leadoff. But I think another reason you throw in there is, well, that guy is left-handed as well. I mean,
true, but he killed lefties this year.
I know.
He really worked at it. I give him credit there. I give credit where credit is due.
Oh, he was one of their best players this year. I mean, you can't go off the playoffs for any player because of how bad everybody was. JT was the worst. He was 0 for 9. But
he is horrible.
But we've expected that.
What a disappointing career. I mean,
yeah, and that's been the problem, to not have that protection there. And I was trying to think about this too. If it's just for fun, let's just hypothetically say they do bring in Soto. I don't know where he bats. Does he bat behind Harper? That's 3 lefties in your first 4 batters. But
and then they would hit him 5th and have nobody behind them.
Have Castellanos behind him and Boehm in front of him.
They would hit Castellanos cleanup.
Yeah, that's right. He'd be in front of Soto, and then Boehm would be behind him.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Well, on to some NASCAR, and thanks to the disqualification last week,
amazing.
A second life for Joey Logano, and he's not wasting it.
Yeah, so he's in the final 4. I mean, he's there, so he'll be in the final race.
He will be, and
we said this, and we said he looked like one of the hottest drivers.
Yep. And
then I think he is. I think he's your favorite going in.
And Denny just completely fell off the map.
Yeah.
It's you're right. Logano's been really good.
Yeah.
And
it's going to be him or Larson. I think one of them.
That's where I was going. It's going to be him or Larson. I agree.
Yeah.
Unless something very strange happens. I mean, they're in Miami this week. So out of the top 4, I can't pick one to win or who will finish first among the top 4. I mean, I would guess Larson, but
you got Bell up there. Who's the 4th? Who's the other one in the mix?
Yeah, you can't count out Bell, and
Blaney?
it's yeah, I believe so.
He quietly gets it done.
he's only the defending champion.
All right, quietly.
Yes, exactly right. Let me see here.
I ordered a Patrick Mahomes. I know this is off topic, but back to the cards. I ordered a Patrick Mahomes card, right? So
Okay.
I had sold one, and I wanted to replace it because that's what I like to do. It was a.
It's Byron, not Blaney. I'm sorry.
Is it Byron?
Yes.
Blaney out?
Yes.
Wow. Sorry, folks. I when football season starts, I just can't. I can't
Right.
watch both. So I ordered a Patrick Mahomes card, and it says it's numbered 11 out of 149. So I bought it like $10. It comes, it's not numbered. So I went right back and eBay and requested a refund, and surprisingly, I got the refund. I was surprised to see I got the refund. Be careful out there. If you're buying cards, try to actually spot the number on the back. It was actually my fault. It didn't look well enough. I just rushed to buy it.
Yeah, and I had recently, for a very, very low price, I was surprised that it was there for, I believe it was $6.99. It was for a collection of books that I was interested in. And then you can always follow the tracking on eBay.
Right.
And when I would click on it, all it says is label has been printed. Other than that, nothing. And it's been almost a month. So I contacted eBay. I'll see what they say when they get back to me. But
well, I can tell you exactly what that means is they printed the label, never mailed it. I mean, that's obvious.
right, and I'm saying they might have been one of those things they didn't even realize they still had it on eBay and they don't have the books or whatever. Just
No, but the fact that they printed the label
is strange.
means they saw it. Yeah. But
Have you any movies? Did you happen to watch Fresh?
no, it wasn't available. But I watched probably 65% of the movie I told you to watch. I watched it that night. But the platform. I watched.
Correct.
I
Yeah, I
watched
have
that
not
back.
gotten to that, but I that may be on tap for tonight. The platform.
There you go. Yeah.
Isn't there part 2?
If there is, I'm surprised. I didn't get to the end. It's been so long since I've seen it, but
I think there is. Let me check real quick. The platform.
the basic. Yeah.
I think it says, there's the platform 2.
No way. Well, there you go.
From the first one's from 2020. The second
Right.
one is from 2024. I'm doing the role of the staff. I'm not trying to eliminate the staff. I'm just doing real quickly.
What's up, Marcus? Welcome in. Salute.
Hello. Yeah, I have coming up, Marcus. There's a top 10, and I had to exclude boxing from it. And if we still have time, we'll get to the horror movies as well. But I have an interesting one coming up. I could do one just totally on boxing.
Oh yeah.
I watched an interesting movie. It's called The Autopsy of Jane Doe. Have you seen that?
I heard of it. I have not seen it.
Very good. I like it.
Is it a true story?
No.
Okay.
I hope not.
Is she a real person? Good. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, very, very different, and I don't know. I mean, I think you'll like it. I don't know if you'll like the reveal at the end of really what's going on, but I would have never figured out that what was going on was what was going on.
Okay, well, at least they tell you, because a lot of these movies I've been watching lately, you just have to figure it out yourself. So at least we'll have an ending.
This one you don't. And I haven't watched the new M. Night Shyamalan yet. I'm not sure. And I'm blanking on the name now. We'll have the staff put it up.
The last one I saw of his was that one on the beach. Old,
yeah. And that one, that was good to the end, I thought.
Yeah. Where we had to talk. We had to talk to each other after it was over to figure. Do you think this is what happened? Do you think that's what happened? You know.
Yeah, exactly. And that's been a few of his. I think the strangest one was The Happening. Did you see that one?
I don't. Maybe I don't. Which
It's
one?
it's the one where the plants were rising up and attacking humans.
No, probably not.
Yeah, they were subtly taking. Yeah, the plants were subtly getting together and finding ways to destroy humanity. So,
well, interesting tidbit. He used to live on the same street as Allen Iverson. They were a couple doors apart.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I think they were actually 2 houses apart.
Trap. What's the one that's available now? I can find out here real quick. Movies. Because Trap might be the new one that's coming out. It's like, there it is. It's Caddo Lake is what it's called.
Okay.
Caddo Lake. So you're going to have trick-or-treaters next week at your place?
Not where I live now. No, there's nobody around.
I didn't think so. I think I might get the weed whacker out and rev it up for well, or I could just put like some Philadelphia sports banners out. That's scary enough.
Put the Sixers injury list.
Oh my goodness, true. Well, here's a top 10 I came up with, and we probably will have time to get into the second one with the horror movies, but I thought this one would be fun. The top 10 all-time best sports nicknames.
Wow.
And I have a few honorable mentions, and I excluded boxing and professional wrestling because
why? Because they have all of them. Because all the good ones.
Well, yeah, because you could do a top 10 on just,
right.
Just from Iron Mike Tyson, Carl the Truth Williams, Hitman Hearns,
Sugar Ray Leonard.
Sugar Ray Leonard, right? You could just rattle them off that way. Ray Boom Boom Mancini,
Sweet Pea Whitaker.
You could just keep going.
Wow, it took me. Oh, this is a surprise one. Whew. How about the answer, Allen Iverson?
Number 4 on my list is the answer, Allen Iverson.
How about Air Jordan will be number 1?
He's not. He's number 3 on my list. Now, remember, I don't know if the disclaimer was put up there that these are just the opinions of Chris Amos, not
It
Radio.
It's on there right now.
Yeah. So I have Air Jordan 3, and I have the answer, Allen Iverson 4.
Okay. Some reason I always have to say what I think. So Mr. October.
Yes, Mr. October is 8th on my list. Absolutely, and it's the reason I'm making the list. It came to mind.
How about that?
I have Mr. October, Reggie Jackson, number 8.
How about the kid, Ken Griffey Jr.?
No, I don't have because just that the kid. That just no, but obviously he could be on any top 10 list or honorable mention, but I don't have him. No.
I got one. The Sultan of SWAT.
Well, see, I didn't go back that far to Babe Ruth.
The Bambino.
Absolutely. I mean, he could arguably be number 1. I was in high school. You know how they sometimes have those like quiz bowls between schools? Yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
Our school was competing in one at one point, and the question was, what baseball player is the Sultan of SWAT? And the person from our school answered Gary Maddox.
He was the center fielder. What they call him? They called him I was thinking Sarge, not Sarge.
No, not Sarge.
He was the the Secretary of Defense.
Something like that. Yeah, he was Gary Maddox.
Yeah. Okay. So number 1, I feel like it's going to be basketball for some reason.
You would be correct.
Okay. Chocolate Thunder?
Nope, and I don't have him on the list either.
Okay.
Darryl Dawkins is not on my list.
The Mailman?
The Mailman is on the list at number 7. Karl Malone is number 7.
Okay.
The top 2 are basketball.
Wow. Let's see here.
People, I hope you realize this is not rehearsed.
It's not. Wilt the Stilt?
I don't have Wilt because I thought that went back a little bit too far. But
the Iceman.
Another one who could be on the list. George Gervin could easily be on the list. That is one of the coolest names ever. I hope everyone got the pun.
Coolest names ever. The great one, Wayne Gretzky.
Not on my list. Because I think I know that's his nickname, but
it's not really a cool nickname, right?
Yeah, that's who he is. I mean,
right.
Okay, I'll give you a little bit of a hint on number 1. Okay.
Or Magic Johnson.
Yes, exactly. Magic Johnson is number 1.
I go I go from Eastern Conference to Western Conference when I think. Yeah.
And Magic Johnson, you'll get the next one then. You should.
Well, it's not Larry Bird. We didn't have a
No,
nickname.
no. I'm not going with the hick from French Lick or whatever they
Yeah,
call it.
yeah. LeBron James doesn't really have a nickname. King
No,
James.
I didn't put King James either. It's not a Laker,
It's not
but
okay.
it's the same time period.
Right. That's what I'm thinking. You had Isaiah Thomas. You had Michael Jordan. Oh, Dominique Wilkins, the human highlight film.
Human highlight film I did not put on the list.
Oh no, I thought I had it.
He could make the list. He played for the Sixers.
Charles Barkley.
Well, he's on the list. Sir Charles is on the list, or
Wait a minute. Round of rebound. Right.
is number 6. Yes.
Right.
Number 2 is arguably
Dr. J.
arguably number
Dr.
1.
J. Dr.
Yeah.
J.
Dr. J. Correct. You could. I mean, it's probably sacrilege putting Magic Johnson first over Dr. J, but I think more people know Dr. J's first name than they know Magic Johnson's first name, and they're very close.
It's true. Yeah, they know Julius over Irvin. Yeah. Who? Now I got the story. Who was they were calling Dr. J? Who was that? Who am I thinking of? The guy was calling him. Is that how Dr. J got his nickname?
You know, I don't
Somebody
know.
from the. I don't know. I forget the story. I think it was a Sixer.
My neighbor used to always say that when I was growing up, my neighbor always said that he got that name because he operates on the court. He's the doctor.
I forget the story. It was somebody telling the story. It was either of Dr. J or somebody similar to Dr. J. I'll think of it. I'll text you. I'll let you know. But we're not done. How many more are left?
On the top 10 list, I have 1, 2. I have 3 more on my top 10 list, and I have 4 honorable mentions.
Wow. Jeez. Are there anything out of the major 4 sports?
1.
What
Do you
sport?
want to know if I give you the sport, you'll know it.
Tennis?
No.
Soccer?
Nope.
Richard Petty, the king?
I thought about putting him on the list too, but no. Golf.
Tiger Woods?
Tiger Woods, yeah.
What's his
Arguably,
name?
you could put him first as well, because most people think Tiger's his first name.
Eldrick.
I mean, most people would probably think that's his first
I was
name.
watching a video of him during the break. I mean, he's starting a reality golf league with Rory McIlroy.
Oh, wow.
Where they basically hit the ball into a screen. It's like all technology.
They're not taking Saudi money for this, right?
No, they're back in it. Them two, Tiger and Rory.
9 and 10 on the list are football.
Walter
One-
Payton.
Walter Payton is an honorable mention for sweetness. Yes.
Sweetness.
One goes back a little ways, probably the one that went back the furthest for me, and one now is a head coach in college football.
Deion Sanders.
Prime time.
Prime time.
And another one is an older player for the Cowboys.
I thought you were going to say O.J. Simpson.
No, that's not bad though. You can make the list for the juice. You're right.
Juice. You're going to say Ed Too Tall Jones.
You are correct. That one is true. Now I have 3 honorable mentions. 2 in baseball. One is a power hitter, one is a pitcher, and 1 more in football.
Pitcher. Roger Clemens, Rocket.
Nope. Arguably could be on the list.
Yeah.
Both of them have
Randy Johnson, the big unit.
correct. And the other one is the big
hurt, Frank Thomas.
Frank Thomas. And I have 1 left from the 85 Bears.
Refrigerator, William Perry.
William Perry. And obviously a lot of fun doing this is the guys, he mentioned a lot of guys who could easily be on this list.
Yeah.
With nicknames. And like I said, if you go through boxing and all, you Iron Mike Tyson.
I was going to say Kobe. When you said no, the staff says Kobe, Black Mamba, or you could even go Kobe Bean. I mean,
you could have went that too. You're right.
I mean, I was going to say that when you said no more Lakers, I said okay.
Well, heck, when I said this with her before, her first answer was Carlos Chooch Ruiz.
There you go.
I mean,
or I just thought of another one to play for. I think for the Lakers and the Sixers. World B. Free.
That's true. But I think he changed that to his real name.
Yeah, he did.
It was like And the staff asked me if I was going to put Embiid on there. I'm like, no, I am not putting Joel the Process Embiid on there. Unless you want to add the process has failed Embiid or Joel out Embiid, you could put that. Wrapping it up here, we have a few minutes left. We will go through this, see how Bobby does the top 10 horror movies of all time. If you mention one that's involved in a franchise, I will just I have the franchise down, except for number one.
Okay.
Number one's part of a franchise, which can make it. But this is, again, my opinion, top 10 horror movies of all time with 2 honorable mentions.
Well, I mean, out of the main ones, my favorite growing up was Nightmare on Elm Street. That was my favorite.
Nightmare on Elm Street is not on the list.
That's all, folks. Everybody have a good night. Thanks for watching.
But I have watched them all and I enjoyed them all. Number 3 was Dream Warriors, probably my favorite.
I just like the fact that, he comes through the bed. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
And I actually saw the original in the theater with no one else in the theater. Just me and a friend. Nobody was there. It was like a 2:00 showing.
Aaron and I did that, I think, once. We watched Land of the Lost at the beach with just us.
Wow. Yeah, because during the day, nobody's in the theater.
Right.
All right, so I'll go through quick. We'll do Halloween.
Yes, Halloween is number 3 on my list.
Are you a Jason guy?
I am, but not on
Friday
the
the
list.
13th? Good.
Not on the list.
Well, there's a new one quickly going up the list, and it's called Terrifier.
Yeah, it is. And I only have one. Let's see. I only have 2 relatively new movies. One is very new.
I know you're a Saw fan.
Saw was number 5.
Yeah. What else we got? We got you know what? Michael Myers. Michael Myers. Who am I thinking here? No, the other guy with the nails. Hellraiser, is it?
Oh, Hellraiser.
Pinhead. Is that who that?
Yeah,
No.
Pinhead, Hellraiser, Clive Barker.
Never really saw those movies.
No, and not on my list. I would recommend reading Clive Barker, but that wasn't on the list.
You a Scream fan?
No.
How about the one with the woods? Blair Witch Project?
Number 2.
Oh, you did like that. Okay.
Oh, number 2 on my list.
Oh, it's hard to judge you. I don't know. Sometimes you'd be like, that's stupid.
That is number 2.
You consider Jaws a horror?
Jaws
film?
is an honorable mention, yes.
Okay. What else we got for horror? Any more obvious ones?
I have 2 Stephen King on the list.
What, It?
It, yes.
How about Christine?
Christine is very good adaptation of the book, but no.
That's not really a horror movie. That's not really scary.
No, not really. I mean, the car coming to life. I mean,
yeah, I thought that was cool.
Yeah, King's. I mean, From a Buick 8 is just as good. Another movie with a car.
Okay.
But, a book.
Maximum Overdrive was another one.
Very good one, but not on the list.
You know what's an underrated movie? You probably saw it. It was called The Hitcher.
No, I didn't see it.
Never saw The Hitcher?
No, I'm going to put that on my list to watch.
It's an old movie, like a hitchhiker. That was. I remember the one part where he's at a diner or somewhere, like one of those restaurants on the side of the desert, or in the middle of nowhere, and he orders chicken fingers and he gets a finger.
Oh,
that's the part of the movie I remember.
Well, I don't know if you'll get number 8, which is relatively new. Have you seen Thanksgiving?
No.
Very, very good horror film, came out in the last couple of years.
Okay.
That I have as 8. And numbers 6, if I Alfred Hitchcock.
One with the hotel.
Psycho.
I was gonna say, I said The Shining. That's probably one that could be on the list.
That's Stephen King, and that could be on the list. But from Stephen King, I have Carrie. The Shining movie is outstanding, but is so different from the book at parts that I didn't include it.
Carrie's a good movie.
Did you see Let Me In?
No, I know of it.
Okay.
What's the movie where you probably know that the couple's driving in the car and I think they got a flat tire and these people come to try to help them. They end up kidnapping them and taking them to their house.
Oh, boy.
No, No idea. There's so many. The Watcher. There's so many of these movies. It's like,
Yeah, I know.
I watched
There's a lot
them
that are out now.
I just thought there's a lot of new ones out.
It Follows, Drag Me to Hell. I have Candyman on the list.
Okay.
And the only other thing I have here rounding out the list is Silence of the Lambs, which technically might not be a horror movie, but
Is that number one?
no, number one, we haven't got there.
Oh. Okay.
Number one, horror movie all time. And actually the third one is my favorite.
Oh. Old, new.
Old.
Give me a year.
Girl's head spinning around.
Oh, a Poltergeist.
Close. Exorcist.
Exorcist, I meant. Yeah.
Exorcist 1 is very good. Exorcist 2, to me, George C. Scott in The Exorcist 3, that was the most horrifying movie I've ever watched.
Really?
Yes.
I don't know them apart. I just know the one with the TV screen. That's Poltergeist.
That's Poltergeist. which also for back at that time, if you were younger watching that, yeah, there's a lot of people.
That was probably when I was 10 years old when I was starting to watch movies.
You would definitely have nightmares.
Yeah.
Next week on the show, more top tens. We'll see who's doing what in NASCAR.
I'm telling you, the show is trending towards all top tens.
Yeah, Eagles and Bengals. We'll see. I don't know what the Sixers mash unit.
Exactly.
And
people are sick of hearing the same thing about the sports teams. They want to hear our top tens.
Exactly, and
much more entertaining.
And you know what's strange too is the World Series doesn't start till Friday, which is kind of
that was planned. It was going to be Friday no matter what.
I know, but it's a weird night to start it, but
it is very weird.
But hey, you got to take those days off, and we'll see where everyone is.
Got it.
So before we go, you guys know where to contact us. You guys know where to watch the show. You know you got to order more Planet Jerky. If you have a party coming up, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas cards going out. If you're sending out birthday cards or any type of invitation, Seal the Deal Wax Seals is going to make your invitation, your card, your letter, whatever it is, it's going to stand out. And that's what you want to do. You want to stand out. So make sure you order today. Bobby and I will be back 1 week from now. Good night.
Always Sports Talk. Good night.